Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. The images that you're seeing here having been released just a couple of days ago after the Japanese Hayabusa 2 Asteroid Explorer, which is a probe that was launched out into space by Japan, actually landed down on the surface of a very mysterious looking asteroid by the name of Ryugu, which in fact, back in June of this year, when we first started getting images of this anomalous little rock, which was titled Japan Hiding the Truth about this, we went on to discuss just how strange this object truly was, which was echoed by the Japanese Space Agency of just how strange this so-called asteroid truly is. And in my original video, we touched a little bit about the very artificial looking shape of this asteroid. Now, normally, the asteroids that we've seen over the years typically take on these strange, abstract, sort of lumpy or potato-shaped shapes. And so when the original first blurry images of this first started coming out, and they originally thought it was a circular object, they were quickly taken aback to see this very sharp and very, again, artificial-looking diamond-shaped object, as if it had been carved out to look like this. And not only did it take on this diamond-like shape, but it also, right in the center of, I guess you could call this equator line, running around dead center of the object, was this massive circular indentation or crater that, again, due to its placement, seemed almost as if it had been put there for a reason, as well as the fact that the way this asteroid is shaped is very similar to some other very anomalous asteroids and moons that we've done videos on in the past that are in our solar system, and I'll get to those in a minute. But as you guys can see here, not only do we have these images of the approach of this object, but we now, having been released just a couple of days ago, have images from the surface of Ryugu, where this lander went down to the surface. It was originally in a 12-mile sort of holding pattern, finally descended to the surface of the asteroid, landed, and then released two separate mini rovers, which then sent back its first images of the surface of the asteroid, which you guys are seeing here. Truly amazing view here. It's always inspiring to me when you actually get videos or imagery of these other worlds out there in space that, at least to our knowledge, no one and nothing has ever set foot on or seen up close. And just to go over these images real quick, the most interesting to me were the very first ones where you can actually see the shadow of the lander being cast down on the asteroid as it descended, which actually looks very similar to the International Space Station. As the lander got closer, we get a sort of a blurred image here, which, according to the Japanese Space Agency, was snapped by the rover immediately after separation from the spacecraft. And so what you're seeing is the asteroid below, and then the actual probe flying above the asteroid. Or at least that's what they say this object is, above the asteroid. But yeah, next photo here shows a much clearer image of the asteroid snapped from the rover as it descends down to the surface. We have some artifacts here due to the sunlight reflecting off of the lens. And finally, the landing with an image snapped from the surface. And we'll just sort of rotate this here to where we're definitely seeing, albeit blurred, defined surface features along with the sun above the asteroid right in the sight of the camera, so it's making it harder to get a clear picture with the sun shining right into the lens. But nonetheless, really, really awesome photographs snapped of yet another foreign object, a very mysterious, again, artificial looking foreign object out in space. And it really does make you wonder why they chose this specific asteroid. And I definitely think that it has something to do with the shape. Again, the Japanese have admitted that they were perplexed by the shape of this object, stating something along the lines that this object holds many mysteries to it and to its shape. And as I said earlier, this object looks very similar to a couple of other objects that are actually much closer to us. They are within our own solar system that take on these really strange artificial shapes and artificial surface features. The first of those being a moon of Saturn by the name of Iapetus, which is the third largest moon of Saturn, and that likewise not only has this well-defined equatorial line stretching around it as if there were two separate pieces that were melded together. This line reaching around is actually a massive mountain range that spans 12 miles high. And likewise, as with this asteroid, this very strange moon of Saturn also has a massive hexagonal crater dead center of that line, as well as a smaller hexagonal crater just above it. And that's really strange because craters, as many of you guys know, are circular. However, many of the craters that you will find on Iapetus are hexagonal, comprised of straight lines connecting corner to corner to corner. It's extremely fascinating. And the second object that again looks very similar to this asteroid is another well-known enigmatic object known as Phobos, which is a small potato-shaped moon of Mars that likewise has a very mysterious and controversial backstory, which many of you will know as the Phobos incident. And if you want to learn more about that, check out my original video. I'll put the link below where I go into more detail about both of these objects. But Phobos, this little moon of Mars, many believe to be an artificial structure made to look like a moon, also has this massive crater-like indentation right on the end of it, which many have said looks like almost the thruster of an engine. And again, is only one small part of the strangeness and mystery of these objects. But if you guys want to hear much more detail about these two objects, check out my original video about this asteroid. But again, two objects here that look very similar or have similar artificial-looking characteristics to this asteroid here that Japan has now landed on. And so the question still stands from my original video: is there something about this object that Japan knows? Is there a reason for its strange diamond-like shape, for this almost perfectly placed crater right in the center? As always, time will tell, and we can obviously never expect Japan or any of these space agencies to release information regarding the true nature of objects like this. The best we can do is analyze them ourselves, compare them to other objects in the solar system, and use a little bit of common sense. So either way, you guys tell me what you think. Really awesome new pictures. Like I said, check out that original video if you want to learn more. And as always, stay tuned. I've always got new videos in the works, so I'm going to get back to it. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you back in just a bit.